Hey everybody, I'm Jer. Welcome to my YouTube. So I have had Bakkt on my watch list for months now, and prior to that, I had downloaded Bakkt because Starbucks had sent me a notification or an email. They sent an email and said if you sign up for Bakkt and put so much on your gift card, on your Starbucks card using Bakkt. Bakkt will give you, I think it was like $5. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So I downloaded Bakkt. Cool. It worked great. But then I kind of like kept it there but never used it. Didn't really understand what it was. And then the stock hit the stock market. And I was like, wow, okay, it's really exploding. It's doing good. And it did really well. It was up an amazing amount. It's kind of fallen off since then, which is what I prefer whenever I'm getting into a stock. Especially if I am planning on swinging the stock or investing in the stock. I like stocks that have had a wild run to this extreme amount and then fallen off and kind of found a settling support level that I can get into to invest or, maybe have a couple of weeks swing in. So Bakkt is kind of where I would be watching to see that happen to possibly get in. So once that happens, I like to do, even before that happens, whenever a stock starts going crazy, I like to know what's happening with it. So I kind of learn a little bit about the stock. Then once it hits that point of settling and kind of finding support, I then look again to see, okay, what's changed? What's the real details here? And I do my DD, my research for it. So I have started doing that with Bakkt. And I want to take you along for this so that we can see and learn together before anybody gets into Bakkt. We kind of know what's happening and where things stand and what to expect. All right, so let me pull up here and let's go. All right, so if you haven't yet, be sure to go to stockvoyager.com/free and download Robinhood using the link there, and you'll get free shares of stock. If you haven't downloaded Robinhood before, download Webull and get free shares of stock there if you haven't used Webull before. I say to have both. I like having both. I use both for different things, and it's just good to have both. You'll also see on there that there's a link for Cash App. If you've never downloaded Cash App, download Cash App, and you'll get free money. It's like $5, something like that, but $5 is $5, yay. Then also there's a link for Lolly where you can get $1 of Bitcoin by signing up, and then you earn Bitcoin as you spend at your favorite brands and stores online. All right, let's get started on this. So what is Bakkt exactly? You would want to go to whatever stock you're looking at, even if it's not Bakkt. You want to go to that stock's website, like their website, to get information about what they are. So Bakkt, connecting the digital economy. Bakkt mission is to power commerce by reimagining the digital asset ecosystem. Crypto, gift cards. It'd be cool if these were clickable. They are not. Gift cards, rewards, cash. Okay. Money made flexible, crypto rewards, and more. Get a link to download the app. Put in your mobile number and send. I already have the app. Our platform, Bakkt, brings the digital asset experience to life. For customers, aggregate, manage, and spend digital assets like cryptocurrency, rewards, and gift cards. For businesses, enable your customers to earn or trade crypto plus redeem and pay with loyalty points via the Bakkt platform. For institutions, our platform offers a monthly Bitcoin futures contract to bring trust and transparency to the digital asset ecosystem. Our products provide greater regulatory clarity, better price discovery, and more effective risk management for financial institutions around the world. Okay, and then all this information here. You can see their team, investor information, the technology, newsroom, blog, careers. Okay, so starting off, you want to know, first things first, for any company you're researching, you want to know what their market cap is, which is what their worth is by what their trade or what their stock price is trading at. So it's taking the amount of shares times stock price to get market cap, which is what the market feels that a company is valued at, what they feel the value of a company is. So you go to Benzinga, and this is where it was kind of confusing for me. Okay, so Benzinga, 1463. Oh, wait, this says last updated 359. Okay, 1395. They're down 4.98%, almost 5%, but they're in the $13 to $14 range now. Market cap, 752 million.4. Range, 1383 to 1564. That's today. Okay. So this is where it gets kind of confusing. So this doesn't show a total float here, but it says outstanding shares is 53.9 million, so about 54 million. But you go on Robinhood, or you go on Webull, or you go on Google, and it shows totally different numbers. You go on Google, this can't be correct. So this is 13. Oh, it is 1109. Okay, so 1340. They're down nearly 9% actually. Why is this not? What's going on, Benzinga? Why is it last updated? Oh, Benzinga has a 15-minute delay. That's why. Google has real-time data. 1344, down 8.5%. I trust Google almost over any other website or platform that gives information on stocks. I just trust them more. It's usually more accurate, honestly. Okay, so, and plus it's up to date. Like this is by the minute. 1339. Okay, cool. Day range, 1328 to 1564. Year range, $8 to 50.80. That's a large range. We're on the lower end of that range now because Bakkt at one point was kind of considered a meme stock and people went crazy and yeah. Market cap, here it shows $3.78 billion. Volume for the day, this is how many shares have traded back and forth. 12.35 million shares have traded back and forth today. Okay, so market cap here, which is what the worth of the company is, says 3.78. Whenever you go to Benzinga, it shows 758 million. So you start wondering, what is going on? Why does this show a very small percentage of market cap compared to what Google shows? And I'm going to show you how you can find that out. The first place you should go to find out what's going on and see if you can find any tips on why there's different amounts for market cap. So you would go to the SEC government website, SEC/Edgar/browse. But let's go back here. Okay, so Edgar, search Edgar, company search. So this right here is where you'd go. I have it saved, I think. Save it as a bookmark. If you're going to be trading, investing, swinging stocks, save this so that you can search SEC files because it's important. It is very important because then you can see different updates and reports and learn more about the company. If you're just trading, I mean, you might want to use this a little bit, but if you're just trading like in and out during a day, you don't need all of this information. Usually you might need a little bit, but not as much. Okay, so we would put in it's already in there, Bakkt. Okay, it shows up here, click it. All right, so this will show the latest filings, and you can get basically any filings, like you can get any filings that they've had right here, okay? This will break down the ownership disclosures, who owns what, as far as shares, insider shares, and insider and institutional shares. Okay, so what we want is actually their latest filing, I was in here last night and I looked at this. So this is going to break down to registration statement. It is registering shares of stock. We scroll down here, and this is what we're looking for. This right here at calculation of registration fee will give us a breakdown. This is what showed me where that number is coming from. Okay, remember, we go back here. This shares outstanding is 53.9 million. I don't know if this shows shares outstanding or not. Does it? It doesn't show me shares outstanding on Google, but you can do shares outstanding on, like if you pull up, let's pull up Webull. Where are we? Pull up Webull. You can go here. 1358 is the most recent trade. Okay, then is it? Where? Do more, and this will kind of show you what we're at. So free float right now is 35 million. There's 35 million shares in free float that are just trading on the market now. Shares outstanding, 257 million. 257.38 million to be exact. Okay, so this Webull, like I said, get Webull if you don't have it, because Webull is great for information. Webull is great for charts. Webull is great for information. I don't trade on Webull because I could never get it how I could do day trading. But you could also, I'll do a video on it later, but you could do trading if you use both Webull and Robinhood and get around the 3 trades and 5 trading days rule if you have under 25,000 in an account or whatever. Anyway, so this gives you the information, 3.5 billion market cap here, chart for the day. You can also go here and get news. This shows you like the news, what's happening. Recent well traders, blah, blah, blah. Why there was a decline. Stock declines 30% after stock decline past month. Everything. I mean, there's just a lot of news here. It's not everything, but it's a lot of news. Okay, so now you see that it shows 200 and however many shares. We go here. We just open this up, and this is where that amount comes from. 32.5 million shares. 190.726 million shares, 5.1 million shares, 3.9 million shares. Okay, this is the maximum offering price of like what they would get off of the offering price, which would be $26 if it's at that or whatever. So, and then this is what they paid for the registration fee. Okay, so you want to know why is Benzinga not showing the same amount as Google or Webull? This is why. We scroll down on this. There's a lot of information here. You can choose to read it if you want. You don't have to. This kind of just breaks down where things stand right now and all of that. So about the prospectus, explanatory note, cautionary note regarding forward-looking statements. This is kind of interesting because it kind of tells you what their risk things are. I can't usually find this in filings. So, but with them, it actually shows what their risks are. Breakdown, risk factor summary, again, breaks down what their risks are. We go down to the offering. This gives like a breakdown of how many shares and all of that. 57 million shares of Class A stock as of December 3rd. 57.164 million. Plus the 207 million shares, and that's how we get to that much larger number. Okay, this is the important part. Lockup restrictions. Lockup. This is whenever a company has done a reverse merger, or a SPAC merger. There's usually a lockup period where their PIPE investors and insiders can't do anything with their shares. They can't sell them, they can't trade them, they can't do anything with them. Like, they just have to hold them. The shares are locked up. That lockup has a date attached to it. This is where you have to be cautious. So, if I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wow, this company at $758 million to me is undervalued because they have a lot of growth potential. They're partnered with Starbucks, and then I'll show these other partners that what else they have going on. But I think, oh, wow, they're under, to me, there's so much growth, but they're not undervalued because they're not making enough to matter, but they have growth potential, major growth potential. So we go back in here. Pursuant to stockholders' agreement and the insider letter agreement, each as described as certain relationships and related party transactions, other than for certain permitted transfers, OpCo equity holders, which was the original company that Bakkt merged with to do a SPAC. Okay. OpCo equity holders may not transfer or make a public announcement of any intention to transfer any or of our equity securities other than any PIPE shares or OpCo equity securities of OpCo before April 15th, 2022. So those shares locked up till April 15th, 2022. All right. This is the OpCo lockup period. And the sponsor and the insiders may not transfer or make a public announcement of any intention to transfer any founder shares until the earlier of October 15th, 2022, and subsequent to the closing, if the closing price of our Class A common stock equals or exceeds $12 per share, subject to customary adjustments for any 20 trading days within 30 trading day period commencing at least 150 days after the closing or the date of which we complete liquidation, merger, capital stock exchange, reorganization, or other similar transaction that results in the holders of our Class A common stock having the right to exchange their Class A common stock for cash, securities, or other property. Okay, so this tells us a large portion of those shares, which I believe, if we go back up here, this 190 million shares, which is 4, relates to 190,726,638 shares of Class A common stock issued upon exchange of outstanding and an issuable paired interest as defined herein. Okay, so I believe that those shares are locked up, and then along with these 5 million and these 3 million, well, 4 million shares are locked up until, if what I'm reading is correct, that means that you have, where is this at? You have until April 15th before this happens. Once this happens, all of those shares then basically flood the market. They flood this stock, which would make it the price of $4 billion, which is where Google has already adjusted this to match when that happens, as if those shares are trading right now. Those shares are not trading yet, but they've already made that adjustment. So right now, after that happens, if it was today, the company would be worth $3.78 billion. But because this has not happened, the lockup period hasn't ended yet. You have until April 15th. And then the other ones, the math that I did was like with the March 17th plus 20 days, would have put it at April 6th. But they may be going off of plus 30 days, which would put it at April 16th. So April 15th as well. So basically, all of that becomes available as long as this stock is trading above $12 for 20 days within the 30-day period. Then the opco investors and the insiders stocks become available. Those are now, then they may choose to hold them, and that would be great if they did. Some might, some might not. It just kind of depends. But if they don't hold them, then all of that just basically floods on the market, and you will see a stock drop. I think you'll see a stock drop anyway at that point from wherever it's at. I really do believe that, yes, that we'll see a stock drop around that point. So it would be a good chance to wait for it to settle at that point and get in, maybe get out, get back in after everything is settled so you don't lose everything or lose a lot. But April 15th is the date that I'm looking at for April 15th, 2022 is the date I'm looking for that to happen. Okay, so that tells us that. So I know now that if I'm going to get in this stock, I've got to keep an eye on April. But for now, I'm going to use this 758 million price as the price for now. So, and this may be too confusing for some people to even get into, but to me, I'm going to use this 758 million price, and I'm going to say that I believe that in the future, I believe that probably with this near future, 1.1 billion to 1.5 billion, near future, that's within like the next 6 months to a year, should be their market cap. That's what I would put it at. Me personally, that's what I would set my price target at, would be that, whatever that. So kind of double where it's at now based off of this, based off of what we're seeing here on Benzinga. So I would say between now and April, $26 in between, probably like, I would say in between $22 and $26 would be my share price target to be out in if it happens before April 15th. April, I'm going to get out. I would get out, me personally, I would get out and wait to see what happens with all these shares becoming available and if the people are going to end up selling them or holding them or what's going to happen, and then get back in after that's done and then kind of reevaluate where things are at that point. And it may not, like, at that point, I would still want it to be under that 1.5 billion. Now then, long term, if Bakkt manages everything correctly, you can compare Bakkt to kind of like PayPal or to Square, which is now Block, and see the potential for Bakkt to be kind of heading towards what they're valued at now. Give that 5 years. Give it 5 or 6 years. And I would say that if Bakkt does everything right, the price of Bitcoin continues to rise. It's gradually up and down, but it continues to gradually rise, and I think it will. Then people are going to want to be using Bitcoin to make purchases and be adopting Bitcoin. And more businesses are going to want to be able to accept Bitcoin. Bakkt could be who they choose to go through. Starbucks is already using them. Mastercard has a deal with Bakkt now. then I say that Bakkt could be closer to 30 or 40 billion, 5 to 7 year range. So it's a good investment, but your entry price is just as important as your exit, and they could add a lot more shares. There could be a lot of things that happen in between now and then. And so that's pending news, pending what happens with the company along the way. But right now, that's what I see as a possibility for me. Not financial advice. Do your own research, figure it out on your own, but that's what I think. Okay, so after all of this, I do a search to try to find out what's going on with Bakkt right now. So Bakkt stock soars more than 100% on news of its crypto partnership with Mastercard. So they have a crypto partnership with Mastercard. Bakkt stock got a boost Monday after the company announced a partnership with Mastercard that will enable Mastercard's network of banks, merchants, and fintechs to integrate cryptocurrency services into their products, allowing more consumers to use crypto for purchases. That is huge. That's huge. The reason that's huge is because we are still in this area of adopting Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. My preferred is Bitcoin. Your preferred may be Dogecoin or ETH or whatever. Bakkt is working with Mastercard now to let people who accept Mastercard, network of banks, merchants, and fintechs, to integrate cryptocurrency services into their products. So that's great. How does Bakkt make money from this? So I Googled, how does Bakkt make money? Bakkt generates most of its revenues in two ways. It takes 2% of each payment as a transaction fee. So every payment that gets done through Mastercard most likely will get that 2%. I don't know what their deal is, what their agreement is, but think about it that it could be 2% cut of each payment as a transaction fee, and earns 2% spread on each cryptocurrency purchase or its conversion back to a fiat currency. Fiat currency is basically USD or whatever currency is wherever you live. So whatever your country's currency is. Let's look. Does this give us any of the? I don't want this. Give us any of the details. Digital asset platform that went public via SPAC. The talk search come after the two companies announced its news. Crypto debit cards and hold digital assets through custodial wallets supported for Bakkt by Bakkt. Customers will also be able to offer consumers the ability to earn and spend reward points in cryptocurrency in lieu of loyalty points and convert their crypto to pay for purchases. This extends Mastercard's ecosystem of cryptocurrency partners in enabling crypto as a service, which provides quick access to cryptocurrency capabilities. So Bakkt was born at a New York Stock Exchange parent, Intercontinental Exchange. So, which is ICE, but not ICE like government ICE as New York Stock Exchange. Lets consumers manage and spend cryptocurrency rewards points for hotels and airlines and gift cards. The firm also facilitates payments for merchants who want to enable their customers to use crypto. Interest in the cryptocurrency has been rising in recent months, and stalwart crypto Bitcoin hit all-time highs earlier this month. Now, this was in October. Nearly half. Okay, so I don't see. I can only guess that it's going to be about that 2%. They may have a different kind of deal or whatever, but Bakkt's going to be making money off this, no doubt. Okay. Who does Bakkt partner with? Okay. Mastercard, which we just looked at. Finastra plans to enable crypto trading for community banks and credit unions. Wow. So community banks and credit unions will be able to do crypto trading using Bakkt through Finastra. I don't know what Finastra is, but enabling financial institutions that are part of the Finastra's Fusion digital banking solution to offer their account holders access to growing crypto market without having to leave their existing trusted banking environment. Google and Bakkt. Bakkt partners with Google to introduce the digital assets to millions of consumers. That's huge. Choice Hotels and Bakkt. Choice Hotels privileged members can now redeem rewards points for cash to use for Bitcoin and alternative payment methods via Bakkt. Quiznos and Bakkt. Denver, we are pleased to partner with Quiznos to launch our first physical location pilot, enabling customers at select Denver locations to pay with Bitcoin. In person, pay with Bitcoin. That's great. Customers who download the Bakkt app, buy Bitcoin, and use it to purchase their next Quiznos meal will receive $15 worth of Bitcoin as a reward. So basically, more than a free meal. Wyndham and Bakkt. Digital wallet will enable Wyndham hotels and resorts members to track and convert points while tapping into Bakkt ecosystem of digital assets. Starbucks and Bakkt. Did you know you can reload your Starbucks card with Bitcoin or cash using Bakkt? Link Bakkt as a payment mode, which is what I did, and I got that $5. In the Starbucks app on iOS device now through July 12th to receive $5 Starbucks e-gift, and I got that $5 e-gift. That's pretty awesome. So you can see kind of that Bakkt has a great future. Are they worth that $4 billion? Right now, I don't think so, but remember, those shares are locked up. So really, the company right now is only $734 million. They're down $1 to 13 something. Let it settle some, and then get in if you're going to get in. But let it settle. Not advice. That's what I would do. Okay. This is that Quiznos announcement. So that's everything. So this is where things stand. Like I said before, to me, the company right now is more worth, considering everything, 1.1 to like 1.5 billion is what I would place the company at. Their financials aren't great. Their financials aren't great. Looking at the company right now, they're making diddly, like nothing compared to what you would think they would be making. Like you scroll down in here and you'll see September 2020, revenue was $6 million. Net income was, they lost 17 million. March, 8 million. They lost 28 million. June, 8 million, 8.5 million. They lost 31 million. September, 9.14 million. They lost 28.85 million. So, looking at this, you can get timid. You're going to be timid. People are going to be timid, and they will use these numbers. Shorts will use these numbers to convince you not to get into the stock. Remember, I've talked about this with other companies too. Remember, Bakkt is a growth company. It has challenges. They're upfront about those challenges. They're upfront about those risks. But they have these partnerships that could amount to a lot in the future. So invest for the future, not for what's going on right now. And if people are fear selling around financial reports, around earnings calls, let them sell. You benefit from their loss. You benefit from their loss. Expect that people will sell, because this happens with a lot of growth companies. People have this expectation. They want money right now. They want the company to be profitable right now. They get bored, so they sell. Okay? Let them. You know what? Shorts will even sell stocks to try to get the price to go down. Or, institutions will sell because they want the price to come down so they can buy back in at that lower rate. If you're scared of that, sell before earnings. Sell before when earnings is expected. Buy back in after everything is settled and there's support found again. So yeah, keep in mind, they're not going to meet some kind of crazy expectations right away. They are a growth company. So they're going to have challenges up ahead. If that's uncomfortable for you, don't get in. Don't get in if that's uncomfortable for you. If it's comfortable for you, you know what you're doing, feel free to get in. But don't expect that they're going to have $1 billion revenue tomorrow or in 3 months or next year or whatever. Like, that's going to take time. But once they reach that $1 billion revenue in a year and then start reaching $2 or $3 billion a year afterwards, you're not going to regret that you got in at $10, $12, $13, whatever it happens to be, and that you held on. Or that you got in once it falls off of that in April, once it might fall off of that price sum, once all these shares become available, you got in at whatever that amount is. So play it right. I want to see you be profitable if you're going to do this. I want to see you be profitable. Keep in mind that April next year, 2022, all these shares become available and actually are on the market. And that's when this number here, this 3.78 billion, becomes live. Like, that goes live. And there may be people that don't see the potential of this company making it in billions upon billions of dollars, and they will sell at that point. Let them sell, find support, get in wherever you feel comfortable. And because entry is just as important as exit, as your target price. So play this smart. Know what's going on with the company. Trade it, invest now with this number in mind. That number, 734 million. Yeah. With this number in mind, but keep this number in mind for April, because this is taking all of those shares into account. It's a good company. I believe in them. I think they're going to do great, but they have hurdles to make it over. So you play it safe. You do what you feel is right. I'm not your financial advisor. No one else online is your financial advisor. You get to choose when you buy. You get to choose when you sell. You're in charge of your money. It's not financial advice. It's giving you insight to what I found about Bakkt. You may find something totally different. You may find a whole bunch of really great things and be like, okay, yeah, they're definitely worth 10 billion now. Or you might find some really bad things and be like, oh, they're probably worth like 20 million. Why are they trading at 700 million or, 4 billion? So do your research beyond this, but this kind of gives you some insights into the company. All right, that is, pull this back up here. That's all I got. I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that you have a profitable green day where whatever you're trading or investing or swinging in. And I will see you all very soon. Love you. Bye. Mwah.